Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome to 10 Within. Okay, you guys, I'm so excited because I have two of my favorite people in all the land sitting here with me today. I'm so excited. Karen and Patrick, they have been, gosh, our best friends, Jimmy and I, that's my late husband, for me, 20 years. And they are just the most amazing people. And today we wanted to have an episode just of what it's like to lose a best friend and really talk about how Karen and Patrick had just so stepped up and been there for me and my girls and just where we are in life today. So I want to share a little bit about them. I met Karen and Patrick when I was 17 years old. And man, oh man, we've had some amazing times together and so many fun times, so many fun memories over the years. Good highs and lows. Mm-hmm. We've had some big fights too over the years. We've done it all.
Yep, 100%.
However, at the end of the day, you guys, I have to say that both of you, Karen, she has just been like a sister to me. You're more than even a friend. You are truly like a sister and just truly been here for me and the girls in every area of the life. I mean, I've gone through a lot over the years that everybody listening knows, and Karen has been my number one support person. I mean, I call her and lean on her, and you're there for everything. And I just so appreciate you for that and for showing up. And Patrick, I mean, my gosh, especially for being a man. I mean, you truly have stepped into the figure of being there. Like Kylie and Chloe's step-in dad. I mean, that's just the truth. You have just stepped it up. And my girls now, it's so cute since Patrick lives down the road from me. I don't know how cute he thinks it is. Mom, my car's not working, or the razor needs this, or we need a tool, or this isn't working. And they now, instead of asking me, they just go straight to calling Patrick.
No.
But it's so cool that they just feel that comfort with you, and they just know that you guys have just had our back in every single way for so many years, and especially since Jimmy died, that I just can't tell you how I am so grateful for you both and appreciate you both. And that we just love you guys so much. You're definitely more than friends. You are family at this point.
Oh.
Yeah. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited. I'm excited. It is. It's your first podcast. Yep. Shake off the nerves. It gets easier. Once you start talking, it just starts. So, sure. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys. I guess we'll just start it with this. So tell me, how did you guys meet Jimmy?
Go for it, babe.
Okay. Yeah. So I met Jimmy my 9th grade year.
Okay.
And I was at Norco High, and I was in the ag department, and one of his friends would always come and talk to all of us girls, all the time. And then he brought Jimmy along one day, and he was so shy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't really talk, stood behind him and was just like, hi. And he just kept coming into our classes with that friend, and I just kind of slowly got to know him. And then I became better friends with him probably towards my senior year is when I started hanging out with him a little bit more. And just always having a time of our lives. Like, there was never a dull moment when you hung out with Jimmy, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they always had something exciting going on, whether you knew you were going to hope you didn't die. Yeah. That's how I met him, was my freshman year in ag.
Awesome.
So ag has history for me.
Yeah, I love that. It is so cool. A little side note is Kylie went to Norco High School, the same high school that they all went to, and had some of the same teachers and other years. It was really cool to know that you guys have all shared that history together. Yeah. And that was actually really special for her. She loved knowing that you guys walked those same hallways all together when she was there. So,
and going through the yearbook with her was so fun.
Yeah,
she graduated compared to her dad's, and then mine. It was so fun.
So cool. Okay, so Patrick, what did you meet Jim?
So I met Jimmy because I moved to Norco from Lake Elsinore. So I met Jimmy my sophomore or my junior year. Yeah. So I met him. We had math class together, and we sat next to each other. We didn't really talk because he was quiet.
Yeah.
And I was a new guy there.
That's
so
didn't even comprehend. You know,
I was so shy.
Super shy. And then me being the new guy at Norco, I didn't know anybody. So he had auto, a separate class than I had, a different period. And I remember the math teacher, forgot her name, Jimmy smelled like gas, bad. So he changed
out
his
farting gas?
No. Yeah. So he changed out his fuel pump in his K5 Blazer, and spilled fuel all over the place, got it all over him. The teacher was like, "What is that smell?" You know, it creates red flags, right? Okay. So I'm like, man,
you gonna blow up the class?
What'd you get all over you? He's like, I spilled gas all over me and changed out my fuel pump. Well, that's kind of cool. I bought, auto too, what period, and then we were talking, and that's kind of like what generated our friendship. And then, of course, the same friend, Flint, me and him had ag together, and then Jimmy had ag with a different class, and then we just all kind of like meshed together because we all like the same stuff.
Yeah, had a lot in common for sure. Yeah. I know you guys definitely over time definitely developed like a brotherhood, I swear. I feel like I always used to laugh to my girls. I'm like, I'm pretty sure Jimmy loves Patrick more than he loves anybody in the world.
They loved each other more than they loved us.
I can
Whole different episode. I'll be Karen and I, okay?
we'll break up, and I'm gonna break up with Karen. That'll be episode 2.
There's so many fun times. So what are your most fun memories of Jimmy?
I think for me is honestly all the fun he always had. He always waited for me too. Like if they were all at a party, even my own boyfriend didn't wait for me, and he knows who he is. But he's still my friend. But they would go to these parties, and Jimmy would wait for me and pick me up just so I didn't miss out. And he, even if he left and come back, he always made sure I was there. And I really love that. Like he always just made sure I was part of the party and I was there.
Yeah.
Just having fun all the time and getting calls in the middle of the night. I'm stuck in Petaley Hills.
Did you have to go pick him up?
He would call me, and then I would call him, where are you guys? Oh, we walked back to Jimmy's. Yeah. I was like, okay, I just snuck out of my house. I'm getting you guys.
Meet us at Jimmy's, come get us.
They did that to me so many times. But then there was times Jimmy would rescue me and my friend Dave, like when we were up in Petaley Hills stuck, like he would come.
Yeah. Which I think says so much about you and who you are as a person, because that you still do that to this day. Is Karen just shows up for everybody anytime. You're just like, you truly have the kindest soul, and that's probably why you and Jimmy related so well. Because I feel like Jimmy truly had the kindest soul. I think he's like a golden retriever. He just was like, he loved everybody and everything, and he just like is wagging his tail, like just so happy to be around,
Right.
And he always wanted everybody to be part of that.
Oh yeah,
he never wanted anybody feeling like that.
Of
and
course,
I think that's one thing I loved about him.
Yeah.
He was always just bringing everybody together.
Yeah, I know. Yes. I love that. He definitely had that.
That was a skill for sure.
Yeah. We talk about in our family a lot, like within our family dynamic, because he was always the one in our family planning trips and booking things. My mom's always, she just recently said this. She said it's so special to her because Jimmy always made her feel invited and like included and just always excited. So, he would invite all of our parents and all of our friends and just anybody had an open invitation, but he was so good at coordinating it and getting everybody together.
I think the best one, the most, like it was recently, before he got sick, he called me and I was like, what's up? And he's all, yes. And I'm like, just say yes. Just say yes. And I was like, I'm scared right now, but yes. He was like, I forget where we were going, but he booked us something. And I'm like, all right, we're going.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
They're like,
Forget what it was, but he booked it and he just told me I can't say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're like, hey babe, I guess we're gonna go camping or whatever. So they book this spot. I'm like, cool.
We're not allowed to say no.
Sounds like a plan,
Yeah, that's funny. What are your favorite memories, Pat?
Oh boy. Oh man. Probably would need a month to figure this one out. The infamous burning down Lum Pine. When we caught Lum Pine on fire.
Or when you should.
Or
well, we knew the person that it wasn't us.
yeah. Holy crap. Some of my fondest memories. Like every weekend would be, something fun, exciting.
Yeah.
All the fishing trips, Lum Pine trips, every single year, that was always, my funnest time. I would, God bless my grandparents, but they're all dead.
Yeah.
And I've killed them multiple times to make sure I took off of work to make that trip. Like, hey, my grandma just died. Like, I need to take off.
But did you
next
last
weekend.
year?
But moving to different companies and different crews and stuff like that, no one really knew. So,
exactly.
I was able to
use that story sometimes.
So to be some of the fondest memories would just be the Mojave Trail off-roading. God bless you guys' heart, but it was usually with me and him together. Was always like, because it was always like
totally okay.
It was like organized. It was organized chaos.
Yeah.
And
was it organized though?
At times, no. We would like to think that it was, but sometimes we knew that things were were on the verge of falling off the cliff, but he was always calm, cool, and collective. So I always knew that, like, okay, like, unless he freaks out, then we're good. So some of those times, which I can't really share 100%, were some of my promise.
Yeah,
I told him I'd take that to the group. But yeah, definitely Lone Pine trips with the family, with the Morrises. Continuing that tradition on forever was, I think some of my favorite memories. And, even getting to, like, say, Lone Pine. We didn't have any money. We were freaking broke. Me and Jimmy both were. So we would
sleep. How old were you guys when you started doing that trip?
16.
Okay.
So there was times when.
Well, that's when you started doing it.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying we as me and Jimmy didn't have any money. So, like, we would have to carpool with Jim and Carolyn.
Yeah.
And, like, sit in the back seat holding the dogs because, like, the dogs, that was their seat. So now we, we're taking their seat. So then when we get to Lone Pine, because we couldn't afford to pay gas to get up there or even to get a hotel room, our own.
Yeah.
So we would sleep in the floor. And, that some of those were, like, those trips were some of my favorite, like, long-lasting memories.
I have to say for Kylie and Chloe, too, because once, obviously, you started having kids, and I remember that was kind of their daddy-daughter trip as well. So it was funny how the boys' trip, as time changed and they grew up, then it became, well, we all know Jimmy was really good at mom and dad. That's why the parents were involved. I'm like, you didn't think he wanted you there just because he wanted to do that to kids. You know what he was doing. But no, Kylie and Chloe loved those trips too. And I mean, I think to this day, that would probably be their fondest memories because that was the one trip that they did every single year with just him. And it was the one time that I wasn't there. And you know how kids are. They're just always drawn to their mom whenever they need anything or rely on anything. And so I always was that person for them. But it was fun for me to see that they had that special time together to just lean into Jimmy. And it taught them so much through those trips, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so they still to this day, I mean, I think that was always going to be a special place in their heart. And I hope that they continue the, tradition of going,
That's what humans to start to do.
Yeah. To continue going, and maybe when they get married and have kids and just, continue that tradition, because I think that was such a special thing for him too.
That's why Chloe doesn't like fish now.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah. They definitely loved it because, ice cream for breakfast, mom's not around, whatever you want. You know? You got ice cream, donuts,
Oh, yeah. That's why they wanted to go every weekend. Yeah. Like, mom's that.
Awesome.
Stay all late.
No bedtime. They can eat whatever they want. They're, I'm sure, up jumping on the beds, going crazy. Don't have to brush their hair nor their teeth. I'm sure all
beer runners.
Yeah.
That's beer from the cooler.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Exactly. That is very young age.
Yeah, exactly. So what ways now do you guys try to keep Jimmy's spirit alive?
I think so many ways. We have stickers, we fly flags, tattoos.
Yeah.
I mean, especially Patrick's tattoos. I think his are the most meaningful. But I mean, there's not a day that goes by I don't think of Jimmy. Even having wear lashes around my neck sometimes.
Aww.
I'm wearing it today. But I just feel like he lives with us all so much. And then seeing him through Kylie and Chloe.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh.
What is it about, what do you see, in the girls that remind you of him?
Kylie, the prankster in her.
Yes.
And just like how she gets quiet, does this little giggle that Jimmy used to do. And then Chloe is just, the older she's getting, she's looking more and more like him.
Mm-hmm.
Like just
totally.
Just her look, everything.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know.
Yeah, Jimmy, it's funny because I didn't really know, but I remember that. He did tell me he was very shy. I remember him saying that, but it was so hard for me to even literally wrap my head around because Jimmy's, the last thing I would say Jimmy was shy, but especially when he was older.
Well, he was shy until his braces came off.
Yeah.
When he had braces on,
it's like
it was didn't want to smile, didn't want to do anything.
Really?
And literally when the braces came off, nice, perfect, white, straight teeth.
Yeah.
Got slim.
That picture I have of him with his shirt off, he's smiling because he was like,
it's like a freaking model.
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I understand. Yeah, I really hope that maybe she doesn't have braces. So I don't know.
She'll grow out of it.
Hopefully she'll grow out of that like he did. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, definitely in girls, when the braces come off, and it seemed like he grew an inch or two, got some muscle,
and then a year later he leave.
Yeah.
It was right after he graduated, and then
I was his first real girlfriend.
You were
right.
Oh,
yeah.
tease them all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Nailed it the first time. And why didn't
Right?
they?
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember they did break up with us when we were what, 20?
Actually at 20 or something because they thought they would be cool to go to the bar.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
21, we weren't.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we
Yeah.
wanted to go out and party, so you guys can't come.
Then we sent Jessica, my sister, to go spy on them. She had a fake ID, so we're like, oh, go spy.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
so
yeah.
funny. It's so crazy how time, I just feel like it just goes so fast. But then it also feels like it was 100 years ago. It's like, it's so bizarre how like that limbo land of it is. But I look at my kids now because Kylie is 19. So
Mhm.
she's, going to Glamis. They just bought a trailer and she is, working on her job and they're just so independent and just their friend group, their stuff. It just reminds me so much of us
Yes.
Oh,
when we were their age. Like, it's so crazy to see. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that feels like yesterday that was
Right.
us. And I still feel like I'm 19. It's
And
so
we
weird. Like, yeah,
Right.
like, you're like, now I'm like 40. How? That was like 21 years ago.
well, yeah. And your mom was your age now
Yep.
when we met your mom and
Yeah.
Greg and
Yeah.
Lamar.
It's
You know?
so crazy. And I thought my mom was so old. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
And whenever we're in grade
Sorry,
school,
yeah.
I love you both. But
He's old. Yeah.
I remember having zero desire to like hang out with them. Like they would be like at like little like backyard bonfire party or whatever. Remember? And I was like, okay, come on, old people. Like I'm yeah, exactly. All right, black. She wants to hang out with us. I think we're cooler than they
Yeah.
are.
You know what's just crazy for
Yeah.
Kylie to be in Glamis this weekend? I told
Uh-huh.
Patrick, I'm like, this is so weird. She's on her own.
Yeah.
You know, and she only called you for one thing, and that we were like, okay, let's
Yeah.
see. Let's hope everything's good.
Yeah.
And they just needed help.
One-ish
Is it?
things.
Yeah.
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 One after.
Jimmy did. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to change my number. You're pretty soon.
Yeah. But
Kidding, you're up, dude.
but yeah, continuing on with his legacy and remembering him, we kind of paved the path. We, as all of us,
Mhm.
for Kylie to be going to the desert and seeing her do that,
Mhm.
That it's like seeing Jimmy, and how she gets everything ready and, she, just all around,
Yeah.
and then,
Yeah.
after Jimmy died, him being such a special person, I want to make sure I honored him like the way that he should be honored
Yeah.
by doing, all the freaking, all the stuff that we did in Lumpine,
Oh,
the
memorials they made.
Yeah.
the memorial in Lumpine that we did with the family,
Yeah.
poured some ashes in that, concreted it, so he overlooked his favorite fishing spot. Glamis, friends that helped and built a swing set that was short-lived, but
teeter totter.
teeter-totter that was short-lived.
But we built it.
And then going through and making sure, we had RV flags, all our flags and razors all said, until the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
All the way down to stickers, every day.
And you two were truly the ones that initiated all of that because A, I'm terrible at stuff like that. I just don't do it. And B, I think that it was so awesome to see you guys like step up and really work hard to coordinate so many things that just kept his spirit alive, because I'm telling you that to me is so special because I feel like it just keeps him alive in our lives and the girls' lives and in our families' lives and, all of the stories and the history and the fun things that we can chit chat about. It's fun when we can talk to him like in a group setting because, especially Chloe being young, she's not really one to like, I always say, oh my gosh, your dad did this or you should have that. But she doesn't like to really open up and share and talk about things yet. I think she's still just processing and young. But I love when we can have like conversations at dinner and they're there with us, that it's just like a lightweight, fun conversation that she just gets to remember and know who her dad was. Because Chloe was 10, so I know he impacted her forever, and she'll know and remember him forever. Luckily that she was old enough to be able to build that relationship with him. But, when you're 10, it's something like when you're 10 years old, like, what do you remember? Do you remember a lot?
Not much.
No.
Just like major, any kind of trauma or something like that. But outside of that, it's all, being 40 now.
Yeah, so I really hope that we can help her remember forever those things, because when you're 10, it's really easy to forget. Because I go back, so I'm like, oh my gosh, like I feel like for me, my core memories really are kind of like in my teenhood. Like I remember like almost like when I met you guys, like 17 to now, like those memories are a lot more stuck and memorable than they were when I was younger. Like, and I
don't remember either.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Yeah.
I remember bits
and you are the queen of memories.
I know.
Through Karen's like 600 years ago, I was wearing black pants with a turtleneck, and you
and the song was playing.
Yeah, came about 6 minutes late in your pink cheetah outfit. Like, I don't know how you have the memory you have. I'm like, how do you know these things?
All the memories and all those. Yeah.
But yeah, trying to carry on, and trying not to forget him. For me, going through and we did something out in the Mojave Trail. Because that was one thing that he loved. He loved Lumpine, so we did, the little memorial site for him up in Lumpine. What else?
We spread ashes in Glamis.
And then the tattoos, that
ashes
all up there.
Yeah.
Ashes are in the the ribbon, and then I just got my haircut.
So the tattoo dinner.
So if I get a haircut by somebody new, they usually freak out because it's like they think it's a stitch, and they always kind of like, oh crap, So it's kind of funny because if I don't know them and they don't know me and they've never cut my hair before, and they start getting to that side, when they go in for the clipper, they kind of pause and they're like, oh, I don't know if I can cut your hair. Like, whoa, is that real?
Yeah.
So like that is like will be forever, and it will always at least once a month, spark that reminder back up.
I love that tattoo. I remember he was so excited when
do you remember him? Like, actually, was he able to like recall it when you got it? Like, he totally was.
So he was upstairs when I walked in. He was upstairs. He just got out of the shower.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he was, wearing, he was wearing
totally loved being naked.
Yeah, which I've seen him naked more times than I've seen him probably almost Karen, And yeah, I remember walking up and walking in the master bedroom, and you had the big tall mirror that was laying against the.
I have it in my room still.
And I walked up and I'm talking to him, and not like where you can't see the side. And I'm like, hey, dude, like, did something kind of cool. We're going to be brothers for life, just trying to pick his spirits up. And he's like, oh, well, yeah, of course. Like, and he's still like coherent at that point.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I would always tease him. He was cleaning his ears with Q-tips. And it was like me and him, whenever you clean your ears with Q-tips, it's just like, the best feeling in the world.
Oh, yeah.
So he's sitting there cleaning his ears, and I turn my head, and I'm like, yeah, dude, check it out. And he almost dropped the Q-tip. He's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Is that real? Because Ryan Ridgway did like the Sharpie, I think, or no, he cut it in with the hair.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, is that a freaking tattoo?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, dude, it's for life. We're gonna be here for, you have yours for life and I have mine for life.
Yeah.
When he came downstairs, so excited, he was like,
yeah,
we're matching. We're gonna be brothers for life, and he was so excited, telling everybody that night.
So yeah, that little bit that was, that picked the spirits up, was well worth, the pain of it, and then dealing with it, and Absolutely. I don't care about tattoos really. A lot of them. Yeah. I don't care about tattoos, but I'm okay with having that one for life.
Of course. Yeah.
So
absolutely, because that has such a special meaning to you. Because you and Jimmy truly were best friends. I mean, when Jimmy had, it's almost like
you can look at each other and not say a word
and just know what each other are thinking. Totally. Yeah. Jimmy had a lot of friends, and he was a really good friend to a lot of people. I know that he impacted a lot of people's lives, but there was definitely something a little bit deeper about your guys' friendship that you guys just have had for so many years. I feel like whenever you think of who's Jimmy's best friend, it always in my brain would have been Patrick. Mm-hmm. And again, I think that you've just been such a loyal, good friend for so many years, and you've been such a loyal friend even after he's been gone, which is, I know we've gone through a lot together, the healing journey of losing a best friend. I mean, I know you guys supported me so much and with the girls that, it's so hard too, because I feel like everyone was there and supporting me, but when you are in the midst of it, like, I don't even think I ever really looked up to look around to see what else was going on. I was kind of in survival mode, but were you guys each other's support partners?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it got hard at some points because I didn't know if our marriage was going to make it.
Really?
It was hard. I mean, seeing him go through it, he didn't want to work through his emotions.
Yeah.
And it was hard.
It's hard for guys to do.
Yeah. And I held it in a lot, and
Mhm.
I didn't ever want to cry in front of you or the girls because I wanted to be strong.
Oh.
So I cried a lot at home. I mean,
Yeah.
I still, there's days that like something will trigger me, and I'll just like,
Or-
there's nowhere. Like, we sold a razor, and I just started crying because I'm like, it's like part of Jim's leaving with that because he wanted Patrick to have that razor so bad.
Yeah,
And he
and I
was
was
so
over the
excited.
desert,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Drive my razor.
Yeah,
You're gonna
You're
want to buy
getting
one."
one.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
So-
he was very adamant about you getting that. So it was almost like a part of it. Like,
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
it hit me, and I was like,
Yeah.
geez, but it doesn't hit me all the time.
Of course,
You know?
that's definitely in grief. I mean, I think that it comes in waves, and it's just like you just never know what's going to trigger it. You just like, it's like a bam, whoa, where did that come from?
Yeah.
You know, that you like go work through it, and then you just continue on in your day. But I think that that's how it is probably going to be probably forever. I would think because when you care about somebody and they're such an impact in your life, and then things remind you of them, you know, it is a sad thing, and there's a lot of good that memories and all the things you can look into, but there's also, I mean, it's when somebody passes away, it's sad, you know, and you, I always tell the girls, I said, it's not bad to feel sad. That's like a normal emotion.
Yeah, and it's
Right?
okay to cry with them. It's okay to cry.
Yes.
We need to cry sometimes. Sometimes I wish the baby. Like, you have to let it out.
Exactly. I'm a big believer in that. And again, I think it's hard for guys to be vulnerable and cry, but I think it's important. Go sit in your closet and curl up and just let it rip. And
Yeah.
there's just something so healing to it, really there is, because it's so needed to regulate, you know, your nervous system because it's trauma.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so shocking, and especially because what happened, it happened so fast and everything changed so quickly and overnight. So it is a trauma, you know, and so I think that again, I am just so grateful that you guys were there and you guys were so strong for me because I know you guys knew Jimmy longer than I did. And
Yeah.
Patrick, I know you loved him probably more than I did.
Yeah, I loved him sometimes more than I loved Karen.
Yeah.
You know,
You guys, I mean, truly had this connection, like this soul connection that I just knew. I mean, you guys were like brothers, right? I mean, that was those brothers. And so, you know,
blood brothers.
I think that again, because you guys were just so strong for me and the girls, it just says so much again about your guys' character. And you guys have always chosen us. And I guess that to me just means so much because there's been a lot of times that you could have just not have been there for us and just, you know, kind of done your own thing in your own life and just kind of focused on whatever. But you guys really have both truly stepped up so much in so many areas. I mean, in every area, truly. That you guys have been the most loyal and amazing friends to me and to just, I mean, truly auntie and uncles to Hallie and Chloe. And we just all love you so much.
You promised Jimmy no matter what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is such true friendship. And I think it's so rare to find that these days, you guys. And I think that's why I feel so blessed because I genuinely believe I feel so blessed to have you guys in your life. And the older you get, the more you realize it's really honestly quality over quantity all day long.
100%.
Because, you know, yes, there's a lot of acquaintances in life and, you know, you might have those, but when you have solid people who just are loyal and have your back, it's so, like, I just know, like, in my heart, like, life is scary when things happen and, like, you know, like, pain things come and it hurts or, like, things go on and different chapters open and close. But having, like, good friends to rely on that just know that you're there, like, you have no idea how much that means to me and to, I think, anybody out there because especially being like single, right? And not having anybody to lean on. You know, I have kids, so like I don't get to lean on to them, you know, and like, you know, yes, I have good family too, but they're far away and they're not really like in our age group. And it's like, it's easier to relate with people your age. And I think it's so awesome to be able to just know I can pick up that phone and call you guys anytime.
Now we're just over the lake.
Yeah. Now I can like walk to your house with you guys.
Call her right away.
I love that we're so close. I think God brought, like, what are the odds of us selling your home?
Yeah.
Getting a spot in Canyon Lake.
Yeah.
And then you moving.
Yeah.
Like, we're literally like the closest I think we've ever, Jimmy would be in heaven.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, we would have been divorced for sure because we would have never seen you guys.
Oh yeah.
Jimmy and Patrick would be like, oh,
Actually, we were talking about that the other night.
Still
Like, if
jump
Jimmy
in
and
the lake, probably.
Yeah.
Like in the golf cart.
They would be off-roading everywhere, causing mayhem.
Yeah, we'd be kicked out of the lake. Let's just let's talk about the two here.
But I think what going back to you know what makes it easier in our healing is that I don't think I could heal the way that I have without her.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you know, because like
It's okay.
It's all the cry. It's a hard situation.
Yeah.
I know.
So Karen knowing Jimmy for as long as he has.
Yeah.
kind of made it easier to heal, because it's not like me and him were like really close best friends. And then Karen was just the wife.
Of course.
You know, she was there
She
even
was
from
born
day
as
one
well.
too.
Yeah.
So it's like I felt the pain, she felt the pain, you know. But
And I think that's and as bad as it's to say is, but it almost helps when you are going through grief to have other people grieving too, because
that feels the same pain.
they can relate,
Yeah.
you know, and you can see that you're not the only one suffering. And I think, again, obviously when you lose somebody that's, you know, it so helps to come together.
Yeah.
And it so helps. And that's advice we can give to people out there. I think that if you are lost somebody or you know somebody that's lost somebody, I think just rallying together and showing just that hurt and pain and vulnerability that like we're all suffering, but we're in this together and we're going to get through it together. Like, I
because
think
you can't fix it.
No.
All you can do is
yeah,
either
people will
just-
always say, "Oh my gosh," they message me still to this day. You know, just actually a couple of days ago, I had somebody reach out to me and, you know, ask like, how do I support somebody that lost a friend like unexpectedly, or a spouse, or this or that? And that's all I said. I said, you know, honestly, I said, all I can say when I was in that situation is there's nothing you can say to make it go better. But what you can do is just show up and just sit in the pain with that person and just be there.
Right.
You don't have to say anything. Just be there and feel that pain.
You did. We sat there quiet a lot of times. And I mean, I remember the day Jimmy did pass, like you went outside and like I knew you were the only one that would be able to calm him down. And I think you knew that too, because without saying, you just went right on to him.
Yeah.
And then I was with Kylie and everything. But I think also having you girls, like I don't think we could have gotten through it without you, Kylie and Chloe.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
sure.
Yeah.
you guys are huge parts of our lives, and I couldn't imagine you not being there. So it's like, just having you guys. Like,
well, I'm
so good.
I'm so glad that this feeling is mutual, because honestly, I don't ever want to do life without you guys. I don't. You know, life has changed so much, and you know, I mean, truly, I feel like Jimmy was such a good person in bringing everybody together and friendships, but you know, a lot of things have changed. I mean, is it now going forward and not having Jimmy here? What is your view on like friendship and best friends? Like, what do you do? Like, how do you can't ever replace a best friend like that, can you?
No, because like a best friend like him,
and I guess replace is not the right word, but like, you know, substitute. Yeah.
So like that kind of best friendship was fabricated, and it took years.
Yeah.
And highs and lows, and you know, we like brothers. We got in arguments. You know, we got in disagreements. We took time off from, you know, talking to you guys, and vice versa. You know, and that's just part of, I think, the building blocks to have a best friend. So like to, in my opinion, like there'll never be anybody along the same lines as him.
Yeah.
Just because of, you know, I fabricated him to be my best friend by scenarios and life challenges and all that stuff, and going through just life with him, being there, you know, for both the girls being born, and like that's just never ever, in my eyes, I can't have a best friend like that. You know, you could have best friends in the future, but just not along the same lines.
You guys went through a lot together, taping Kylie's diaper on. Like, I mean, the stories we have.
I think that is, I mean, you can't replace history, you know. And now I do believe that God will bring somebody into your life that can become a really close friend, to not replace, but to
my wife's my best friend.
Wifey square.
I got my two best friends right here. Good.
I think that God always is so good, and I do believe that when he takes something away, I think he always does replace it. And it might not be in due time, you know, and I think that it takes time. And I think that sometimes, you know, you have to go through things and loss and mourn to really appreciate maybe. Right. You know, you never really know what season you're in and why you're in that season, but I think that God's plans are always the best plans. And I know that there's no chance that God is not going to bless you guys big, because you guys have genuinely good hearts and souls. And I don't care.
Well, we are blessed big
happens
by having the Morrises.
That's always the Morrises and the Henrys. Yes, but basically you guys are. I mean, you just are genuinely good people, and that's just so hard to find today. You know, me and JD, I do that podcast, you know, both sides, and he's the co-host, and we literally talk about it. He's like, it amazes me how people kind of let you down, how you just really can't rely on people anymore today. It's you know, hard. And I mean, he obviously has a wife as well too, who is his best friend. But he said, you know, he's like, my gosh, you know, growing up, he had millions of friends. He was very popular, and this big, you know, group of people always hanging with. And he's like, now it's like, you know, if you're not going to be in my life to bring me up and to bring value and to, encourage and support. And, he's like, then you're just not worthy of my time at this point, because time is invaluable. We know that time is so precious.
Yeah, speeding up too.
And it does. It just goes so fast. And it's like who you give your time to really does matter. And I think that, again, I think quality over quantity is like, I think we have some really quality, good friendships. And I think that that is truly like what we have, I think is so rare and it's hard to find. And I think that's why you honor and respect it so much. And, you hope that people can find a relationship like this, but it takes work. And I think it takes, showing up for people and doing things maybe that aren't always in your best interest, that just doing the right thing every single time, regardless of the outcome. You guys have proven to do that, and you guys have lost a lot. And I know that that's the truth. And you guys have lost a lot just supporting me. And I mean, as sad as that seems,
every day
is
all good.
I'll do it all over.
And I always have. I mean, I do, because it hurts my heart that that things have turned out the way that they have, simply because you guys have supported me and the girls. And I can never understand, like, how does that become a negative thing in anybody's eyes ever? I just can't comprehend it. But I think there's one thing that God has always laid on my heart is just trust the plan, trust the process.
Yep.
People come and go in different seasons for reasons. And sometimes we don't understand it at the time, but you look back and you're like, oh, okay, like I understand it now, God. And I think just trusting the process. But all I can say is that you guys have been a godsend to me. And I'm so grateful Jimmy met you in high school. And then I met you when I graduated high school. Because honestly, it's been so fun. We have so much fun together. Living together on the lake has been so fun. And oh my gosh, it's just been such a really cool thing.
It has been. Our Friday nights now. The dog park.
Yeah.
The dogs.
Yeah.
Just
Totally.
Yeah. Our Friday nights at the bars and the clubs have changed.
They've definitely changed a lot.
Like recording ourselves is 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night, I should say.
Yeah.
That's pushing it. Maybe 7:30. Jim who like a dog park. I'm like, this is a wild Friday night, guys.
Yeah.
Any other way. Like it's a peaceful, content, good life. That's how I feel. Do you guys feel that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. It took some time, because with the passing of Jimmy, it's just like, holy crap, like, what do I do now? But it's just, you got to trust the process and believe in God and know that things will get better.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that.
I needed him, and we don't know why.
100%.
Yeah. We'll know one day.
I believe we will understand one day, for sure, in hindsight, because I do think that there is an afterlife. I believe that for sure. And I think that their afterlife is the eternal life. And I guarantee you, God's like looking down on it and saying, Lord, you better bless those two for being there for my family. Because honestly,
Because our homes
are our community. Bill, Patrick, and Jimmy home. Well,
It's like, it's still working on you guys.
the house is for us. And the dog house in the back. And the girls, me and Patrick got this palace.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With all the dogs.
Exactly. I think the dog house will be your dream house.
Your mom's like, move over.
You know my mom got the dog house. How many animals surrounding you? That's so funny. Yeah, well, it's been such a fun time living here with you guys, and I know that obviously the grief journey, it takes time, and I know that there's definitely days that are harder than others. And being almost 4 years into it now, what do you say? How do you feel now?
It's been almost 4 years.
Well, being 4 years definitely shows that time does heal all wounds. Like we don't forget, right? But just I would have never thought I could have talked about Jimmy on a podcast, and not be like choking up every freaking 5 minutes, So that goes to show that, even though it's been 4 years, it's still hard to talk about, but it's gotten easier for sure. Same thing when people ask about, Jimmy and, the story, they kind of know, but they don't know exactly what happened. Before, I wouldn't be able to tell them. Like, there's no way.
You would cry in a heartbeat. Like, I couldn't even talk about it either.
Yeah.
I don't cry about a whole lot of things, but that's,
Yeah, of course.
So after 4 years, things definitely, seeing you and the girls move on with your life and, your happiness makes it easier for us, to heal. So,
but he's never forgotten. I mean, I'm sure it's the same with you girls. Like, you probably every day.
Oh yeah,
Something always.
that's just. I mean, I think that's just how it goes. I mean, it's just he was such a huge
Yeah.
part of all of our lives that you never forget them. You're never going to just. They're never not going to have a presence and a part of you still. That's going to carry on forever, and that's always been my goal is to really keep Jimmy's spirit alive, mostly so his daughters can remember who he was too. Because I mean, it's just such a huge thing to have 2 kids to be able to appreciate and honor their dad and know who he was, and so it's easy to forget.
Yep.
And so I think that I really appreciate keeping him alive for sure.
And if you kind of start forgetting, he'll pop up and let you know, like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah,
either by a random song coming on the radio,
Oh yeah,
or a phone that glitches out.
yeah,
You
that was
know?
crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot that happens.
Yeah.
Like a song that doesn't even go on his country station from Fall Out Boy would just come on, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'll like text me and he'll be like, "This song came on," or like a song will come on and he's talking to Kylie. And he's like, "What the heck?"
For the first year of the
Yeah.
casting, we'd take a shot of Fireball
Oh
for
my
him.
god.
Yeah.
And then my arm would start twitching. Again, muscle spasm right where the action.
1 year of Fireball, I'm done. No more.
Yeah.
And it's definitely,
Honoring Jimmy. We're done with that
you
one.
definitely won't, he'll make sure that you don't forget.
Yeah, absolutely, totally. Well, I think that is for sure. I think that we don't want to forget him. None of us do, and I think that again, as time goes on, that as you said, it does get easier. That is for sure, and it's less painful, but it's still always going to be sad, and it's always going to have that tug on your heart because you miss somebody, right? And that's just never going to go away. But I do believe we'll be reunited again for sure.
Oh.
So I guess we'll end with this. What advice would you give somebody going through the loss of a best friend?
I would say just make sure you don't hold it in as much and find somebody to talk to if it's not a best friend or it's your best friend that's going through it.
Mm-hmm.
Find someone else to talk to until you know they're ready to talk. Because I know it was hard. I don't want to make you more sad.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really hard, even when we had the girls camping, just seeing them sad and then
Yeah.
hold it in and then just like tear up without them seeing me, but always be strong for them.
Yeah.
But you do need to talk about it.
Of course.
And you need to learn, like, just slowly work through it.
Yeah.
Because it's not, you don't want to hold it in.
No,
And it
I agree.
hurts, but you do need to, even if it's on your own, crying in your room or writing even a letter to whoever it may be. I know that helped out us a lot because we couldn't communicate right.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend that passed away my senior year, her mom told me what her and her husband did.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, write him a letter and tell him how you feel. And I think you took off to Glamis. I didn't even know where you went.
Wow.
He went to go write Jimmy's eulogy?
Yeah.
And I just wrote him, I think you still have probably like a 3-page letter of how I was hurting too. Because I don't think he realized that other people were hurting.
Of course.
He thought it was just you.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Well, I think when you're in grief and you're in so much pain, it's so hard to feel or see anything else. That's what I experienced. I feel like I don't even remember a lot because I feel like I was like in this tunnel world of just, I had a lot going on in every single area of life. But so you go into survival mode.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's hard to carry anybody else's anything when you're in so much pain. So it's almost like a survival mechanism that happens is you're just focusing on you and how you feel. And then but I do feel like if you look up and you connect with other people that are hurting and mourning like you are, that when you see it, that somebody else is hurting and that you can relate with that and that you can maybe support one another, I do think that it taps into like this other part of your strength. And I think that having kids and losing Jimmy is I just always had to tap into a strength for them. And
Right.
so, I think that was probably the same kind of idea that you guys had as you had to tap in once you realized it
Yeah.
to each other, to realize like let's mourn this together and not against one
And
another.
also to help out, like when we took the girls camping to give you a night, just because we knew you were going through so much.
Yeah.
It was after, the funeral or before the funeral.
Yeah.
But, we knew you needed to be by yourself.
Yeah.
So we took the girls in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
that was down visiting.
Yeah.
Camping with us. And,
Mhm.
as much as you can be there for your friends, especially if they have kids.
Oh, yeah,
Be
totally.
there, like support them.
Totally.
Take them out for a little bit to like someone mourn because it is hard. You have to mourn.
Totally. And everybody does it differently, and I think there's no right or wrong, this or that. And you're going to look back and like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or maybe I shouldn't have done that. But that's part of the process,
Yeah.
man. You're like, all right, maybe I wish I would have done this faster or sooner. You just don't know what you don't know. It's like you
You
do
gotta
the
wing it.
best that you can because there is no rule book, right?
Right.
And because you write the rules, and what worked for me wouldn't work for you, and what works for you wouldn't work for her. And it's just
true.
there's no real advice I feel like that you can tell somebody to make them feel better. Say, oh, do these few steps and you'll be healed. It's do what whatever you feel that
Right.
you need to do. If it's cry, if it's write, if it's run away, if it's whatever it is,
Yeah.
do what you need to do for you and then recalibrate, you know, but it's a painful thing to go through.
What about
Oh,
you?
yeah.
What would you
Um,
urge for people?
my recommendation would just be, you know, if you have a family friend that, you know, is battling cancer or they tragically lost their life, you know, just try and be there for the family as much as possible, right? Because to be there to help them heal, I think also helps you heal,
Mhm.
and it makes it easier for yourself to see them, you know, to see their spirits get lifted. For me, you know, seeing you guys, you know, kind of, you know, smile at, and even though it's the darkest times that you're going through, you know, little things that make you guys happy, you know, if I contributed to it, you know, that in turn helps me heal.
Mhm.
You know, so my best recommendation would just be there for the family, because in turn you'll heal yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Absolutely. That's really good advice. Well, you guys, thank you so much for coming
Oh,
on
thank
today.
you.
And I really hope that everybody enjoyed, you know, just getting to meet my best friends who play the most important role in me and my girls' lives. And so we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you
Aw,
for having us.
thank you for having us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.